Hello and welcome to Spirit Mom. Today at Spirit School, we're going to be learning about archetypes. We all have 12 archetypes. Why 12? Because the universe loves the number 12. 12 astrological signs of the zodiac, 12 disciples, 12 months in the year, 12 years in an era, and 12 archetypes that make up you. Archetypes are a character in a story. They have a variety of paths that can be taken. Examples of archetypes are the warrior, advocate, journalist or informer, princess, hero, and the caretaker. Ever wonder why some people have the need to go to these freedom rallies or protest injustices with signs and marches, but you just don't? Or wonder why you do and others don't? The activist is an archetype. It's why I can't escape my need to tell people important information. I'm a journalist or informer through and through. It's in me. It's one of my archetypes. But we are not just one, we are 12. Usually one or two will be the most dominant, but there are 12 in there. Each of these 12 have their own shadows too that we can learn and be aware of. There are 4 archetypes we all have for survival reasons. They are the child, the victim, the prostitute, and the saboteur. Today, we'll talk about the child. Why the child? Because it will have the deepest roots from our past, usually. And I'm all about healing those roots from our past. Healing ourselves, healing our roots helps us grow to be better trees, better people. To start, there are multiple versions of the child. There is the wounded child, the magical child, the orphan child, the divine child, the nature child, and the eternal child. We all have each of these children inside us, though often one is more dominant than the other, and one could even be barely a whisper, but it's in there. I would recommend you look closest at the wounded child because I feel it is one of the ones people can get most stuck in, pain, right? Getting through to our wounded child would have the most profound healing effects on our soul, our self, and our shadows. By healing our wounded child that is stuck, damaged in the past, we could finally transcend into a newer, better version of ourself. It's hard to become a new and better version when 1/12 of our entire self is stuck in the past. And that's what happens with the wounded child. When mom or dad or someone was terrible to us, we are stuck and there's a piece of us that's infinitely a child. You have all the aspects of the child within you. So besides healing the wounded child, it's also good to explore the other children and see what they're up to as well. Your magical child is that optimistic part of you that has hope and excitement for all things magical. The Harry Potter loving part of you, the excited for Christmas and Halloween part of you, the innocent, fun, cute part of you. We all have that child somewhere within us, like, oh my God, I'm so excited, yay! Your nature child, some feel more when they're actually children from what I've seen, but they feel it now too. It's just easier when we're children and not so busy. It's when you don't just like dogs, but you're deeply and profoundly connected to them, or horses or cats or any other animal. It's when you are connected to them and or a deep connection with nature, trees. I know a lot of people get into Wicca and witchcraft because that connection with nature. It's part of your child archetypes. And then we move on. There's the orphan archetype. Now that is actually being Harry Potter. Whether you are actually a real orphan or just ostracized from your tribe, we've all probably had experiences being that child. That's when we are left out of the group. We are all meant to be one. We are all one. So being excluded from each other is a living type of hell. The next child we are all familiar with is the eternal child, aka Peter Pan. Peter Pan syndrome is a growing title most people happily wear these days. And we live in an age where we no longer have to really grow up like they did in the olden days. However, that being said, we do need to learn to mature. I, for one, say we keep the magical child alive within us, but don't cling to that eternal child. The last child is the most powerful one, the divine child. Very few people can actually say they fully embody this child. This child has been seen only a few times in our history. This child would have been Jesus Christ, the Dalai Lama, probably Gandhi and Buddha. I want to be this child. We all should. And we all have a part of that child in us, but the world needs more pure divine children of us fully embodying it. I would recommend reading more about the archetypes. I'll include a link to Caroline Miss's website below. She has a fabulous list of them that she has worked up. Just perfect. I would really recommend diving deep. Tomorrow, we'll talk about another archetype we all have inside of us, and that's the prostitute. So heal your inner child with a thoughtful meditation today. Goodbye for now, Spirit Mom.